Mr Speaker,
Order.
The government believes in those 210,000 Australians, and we will not cut them loose. We understand the dignity of work and the cost of being without it. And that's why we will build on the effectiveness of our economic stimulus by extending two key measures. Mr Speaker, the First Homeowners Boost has supported employment and helped 59,000 Australians buy their first home. In light of the continuing global uncertainty and the success of this initiative, tonight I announce that we will extend the boost for a further 6 months, including 3 months at the full rate before stepping it down. Mr Speaker.
Order. Order, those on my left.
Mr Speaker, small businesses are the backbone of the Australian economy, employing around half of all private sector workers. That is why the government will also provide immediate additional assistance by increasing the small business and general business tax break to 50% for eligible assets ordered between December 2008 and 2009, in addition to assistance for small businesses to take advantage of e-business opportunities. Mr Speaker, the government's fiscal stimulus program started with a timely boost for household incomes and was followed by support for shovel-ready infrastructure. Tonight we mark the start of the third phase, a move into larger and longer-term nation-building projects, bringing jobs now and putting in place the building blocks of Australia's future productivity and prosperity. The centrepiece of this budget is the $22 billion we are investing in the infrastructure our nation needs to grow and to prosper in the years ahead. Highways in central Queensland, the Hunter Valley, up and down the East Coast, Metro Rail in Adelaide, in Melbourne, in Brisbane, in Sydney, in Perth and on the Gold Coast, ports in the west and the north, international gateways for our exports, broadband right around the nation, beginning in Tasmania, universities and research hubs and hospitals and cancer institutes in towns and cities right across the country. Nation building for every corner of Australia. And through these investments, Mr Speaker, we can tell our kids and our grandkids with pride that to respond to the great economic challenges of our time, we created the infrastructure, generated the ideas, shaped the minds, marshalled the energy and developed the skills that led to a new era of prosperity and sustainability in Australia. Mr Speaker, tonight I announce the government will invest $8.5 billion in Australia's critical road, rail and port infrastructure needs. The projects reflect advice from Infrastructure Australia and will be funded from provisions we have set aside, including in the Building Australia Fund. We will invest more than $4.6 billion in the construction and planning of 9 metropolitan rail projects right across the nation. $3.2 billion towards a dedicated dual rail link from West Werribee to central Melbourne's Southern Cross Station. $40 million towards planning, design and engineering works for Melbourne's east-west rail tunnel linking Footscray with the CBD. $365 million towards a light rail corridor for the Gold Coast, and $20 million for a detailed planning study into potential new corridors in Brisbane. $294 million to upgrade Adelaide's Gawler rail line, and $291 million to extend the Noarlunga to Seaford line, in addition to $61 million to extend the Oban track in Adelaide. $236 million towards the central city section of the Perth to Fremantle rail line and the Wellington Street bus station to facilitate urban redevelopment in Perth. $91 million for detailed design work of the Sydney West Metro, a new 25-kilometre rail line from Central Station to Westmead Hospital. Mr Speaker, the government's vision for the efficient movement of goods and the drive for national productivity means we must invest in our road network as well. Tonight I announce a further $3.4 billion investment in Network One, the road freight corridor between Melbourne and Cairns that includes the Hume, Pacific and Bruce highways. Mr Speaker, $1.5 billion for the Hunter Expressway, a new dual carriageway road in New South Wales between the F3 and the New England Highway near Branxton, $618 million towards a dual carriageway bypass of Kempsey to the east of the Pacific Highway, $488 million to replace 25 kilometres of the Bruce Highway between Karoi and Curra in Queensland with a better four-lane divided carriageway, and $884 million to upgrade the Ipswich motorway from Dinmore to Goodna. This investment in major roads and rail will help achieve our goal of building a truly integrated national transport system. And, Mr Speaker, we will also set aside $389 million to invest in the capacity of our bulk commodity ports, the critical international gateways between our businesses and global markets. $50 million towards design and engineering works for the Port of Darwin's East Arm that will improve port capacity and efficiency, and $339 million towards the development of common user facilities at the Port of Oakajee, north of Geraldton in Western Australia. And, Mr Speaker, this new investment comes on top of the government's plans to partner with the private sector to build a $43 billion superfast broadband network, the biggest nation-building infrastructure project in many years. Supported by an initial investment of $4.7 billion, this will ensure our economy has a fast and efficient communications backbone for the 21st century. Concrete, steel and fibre optic links reaching out across the whole nation, creating new jobs and clearing new paths to recovery and prosperity in every single community. Mr Speaker, the government is absolutely determined that our nation-building plans will create the low-pollution economy Australia needs for the future. That's why the government is introducing the Carbon Pollution Reduction Scheme and expanding the National Renewable Energy Target. Tonight, I'm pleased to announce the government will also invest $4.5 billion in a new clean energy initiative, the critical infrastructure that supports low-emission technologies and creates low-pollution jobs. We will establish Renewables Australia, a new innovation body to promote the development, commercialisation and deployment of renewable technologies. We will establish up to 4 new solar flagship projects to demonstrate the viability of solar technologies. And we will support projects that demonstrate carbon capture and storage on an industrial scale from coal-fired power stations.